Hello, BookTube. I've got some mail for you today as the year winds down. it's a gray, rainy day here in Boston. A rainy, cloudy Friday. It looks fine. The coast clear for a little dog walk. My moody, pouting little dog. It looks fine for that. She hates the rain, so the coast has to look clear. And then it'll sweep in again. Out of nowhere, there'll be rain for an hour. That's solid. But mail came, even so. A trickle more mail came. So we have 3 packages here. Let's do these and see if these are also what we saw yesterday, which was obviously publicists just clearing off the excess of their piles before they head out for 2 weeks on vacation. I was getting a ton of 2022 books that are long over. They're long gone. They're months old. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, all right. Well, this is a January release at least, but it's pretty damaged. Huh, that's odd. That doesn't usually happen. I wonder in the new year if I could ask for another one. We've seen this already. We saw this is lovely. We saw the advanced copy of this. This is Brooke Ziphorn's translation of the Tao Te Ching, which Brooke Ziphorn puts in one word and also changes Lao Tzu's name to Laozi. And this comes out in late January, and mine is, I don't know if you can make that out, but it's bent. So I guess it doesn't really matter to me. It would probably end up looking like that anyway after I read it. But the hardcover is lovely. I mean, aside from the bend, the hardcover is lovely. This is how they're going to do it. So it doesn't have a dust jacket. It just has a ribbon with the title and the author and the translator woven into this inlaid cover design. Very, very nice. And then on top of that, you have this thing. You have a ribbon. Nice cover design. So let's see what we have here. We already know what we have here, but in case you missed it the first time. Grounded in a lifetime of research and interpretive work and informed by careful study of recent archaeological discoveries of alternate versions of the text, Brooke Ziphorn, one of the preeminent explicators of the Eastern religions in English, brings us a revelatory new translation and a radical reinterpretation of the central text of Taoist thought. Ziphorn offers an alternative to the overly comforting tone of so many translations, revealing instead the electrifying strangeness and explosively unsettling philosophical implications of this famously ambiguous work. The Tao that can be observed is not the true Tao. So those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, maybe you have 5 or 6 different translations. This book has been translated more than any other book in the world. If you have 5 or 6 different translations, you're going to want to keep an eye out for this. Liverite is an imprint of W.W. Norton, and it's named after Horace Liverite, and they are reliable. Once upon a time, all publishers were reliable. Before Random House came along, all publishers were reliable. In one way, they were reliable in the most elementary sense, which is that they were reliable to be themselves. They had a vision for what they wanted their lists to look like. And that's what they were going to do, regardless of profit, regardless of bandwagons. And you knew what you were getting, therefore. And you could shop accordingly. And W.W. Norton, and especially Liverite, they're one of the only publishers I know of nowadays that is still like that. So in terms of the excellence of their editorial team, because their products are usually excellent. So you'll have this to be very interested in the new year. That's a finished copy of Tao Te Ching. My hardcover came to me a little bit stepped on and bent. And also, although I love this design of having just a banner instead of a dust jacket, it's not going to last long. The dust jacket doesn't last long anyway. But this thing, in my handling, it's not going to last long. But that's great. Glad to have that finished copy. Move on to this next one here. Also a finished copy of something. What have we got here? Okay, this is also a January release. Good. This is from Yale. I don't know if we saw this or not, but this is the finished copy of Daniel Boyarin's The No State Solution, a Jewish Manifesto. The title referring to, this is a book on the Israel-Palestine conflict, and the title refers to the one-state solution or the two-state solution. And this is the no-state solution of how to solve that. right, either you assimilate the entire Palestinian population somehow into some sort of free roaming apartheid instead of the open air prison that they live in now, or you create two states. You give them a viable state, a bit of coastline, arable land, drinkable water, and set that up as an independent country. So it's a one state and a two state solution. What have we got here for no state solution? In the debate about who the Jews are, two seemingly mutually exclusive answers dominate. Some argue that the Jews, formerly a religious community in exile, are a religion. Others argue that they are a nation based on Jewish ethnicity. That's not actually how the pub sheet is starting, is it? Okay, that's a fairly dumb start to the pub sheet. No one argues that. That is just a complete straw man. They are, of course, both. Anyway, in this book, to be published on the 31st of January, the author lays out the problematic aspects of this binary opposition and offers outlines of a different and very old answer to the question of the identity of a diaspora nation. Okay, all right, but Israel is not a diaspora nation. All right, well, anyway, he aims to drive a wedge between the, quote, nation and the, quote, state. Oh, those quotes are dangerous. This whole book sounds dangerous. It's not very long, but it said that you don't put quotes around either one of those words. Oh, my. Only very recently conjoined. Oh, no. Not very recently conjoined. They were conjoined before you were born. How long do you want? All right, let's go on here. Only very recently co-joined and recover a robust sense of nationalism that does not involve sovereignty. There's no such thing as nationalism that does not involve sovereignty. So again, let's keep in mind, this is the pub sheet, not the book. But the pub sheet is, it is all over the place in terms of debatability. I could write a 5,000 word piece on every single individual sentence that I have read so far. Based on the author's decades of study of the history of the Jews, this provocative manifesto argues for a new understanding of the Jews' peoplehood. Okay, do they get to have a country or don't they? Do they get to have a country or don't they? I don't care a bit about, I don't care a fig in season or out about their peoplehood, and neither do they. They care about, do they get to have a country or don't they? And if so, what does that mean? Do the Palestinians get to have a country or don't they? And if so, what does that mean? If they don't get to have a country, do they get to participate as equal free citizens in the country that the Israelis have? Or don't they? Peoplehood? Peoplehood sounds like you're going to try to redefine what it means to be Jewish. I want to read more, but that's actually, believe it or not, where the pub sheet ends. A nationalism that does not involve sovereignty. Okay, well, who is the author? He is the Herman P. and Sophia Taubman Professor of Talmudic Culture Emeritus at the University of California at Berkeley, where he held joint appointments in the Department of Near Eastern Studies and the Department of Rhetoric. Okay. His previous books include Powers of Diaspora, 2 essays on the relevance of Jewish culture, and Borderlines, the Partition of Judeo-Christianity. Okay. Right. Well, this doesn't come out until January. I've done a lot of reading on this subject. Also talked to quite a few experts on the subject. I've interviewed quite a few experts on the subject. And I guess I just automatically expect that any book on the subject will be 5 times this long. The no-state solution. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's 2 slim works of nonfiction so far. Then we have this big floppy package that's soaking wet because my mail carrier, this one came separate from the others, and see, look at this. For some reason, the mail carrier who dropped this off thought, well, I don't really need to bother. You know, putting it out of the elements. It's pouring down cats and dogs, but I don't really need to worry about that. So they didn't. They didn't worry about it, and I kind of wish they had. Oh, okay. Well, the book on the inside is wrapped in plastic. That's rather lucky. No way for the mail carrier to know that, but at least the book is safe. Let's get this plastic off and see what we have here. Oh, oh my! Okay. Uh, I do we have a date for you? A date of any kind? No. No information at all. I don't know when this came out. I think I know which small New England state it's destined for, but I don't know when it came out. This is from the Kon-Tiki Museum archive. This is Voyages of the Sun by Thor Heyerdahl. A big, lavishly illustrated thing here. I don't have a sheet for it or anything like that, but there are a lot of archival photos in here. All right, there's a text printed on the back. Norwegian archaeologist, anthropologist, and explorer Thor Heyerdahl spent decades substantiating unorthodox migration theories through equally unorthodox open ocean voyages and research expeditions. Afforded unprecedented access to the Kon-Tiki Museum archive, this book examines the enduring relevance of Heyerdahl's life and his work, the legacy of which is still felt today. I wonder how many of you have read Kon-Tiki? That's the name of the museum is Kon-Tiki. That is also the name of Thor Heyerdahl's best-selling book. I wonder how many of you have read it, or is it sort of fading? Is Kon-Tiki still in print? I honestly don't know if it is. This has a lot of text in it. That's good. This is not just archival photos. Look at that. I wonder how many of you have read Kon-Tiki. How many of you are familiar with its great motions? Wow, some of these photos, just unbelievable. There are great moments all throughout. Kon-Tiki is a great adventure story. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I am very fascinated in this. I love the book Kon-Tiki. I'm going to go through this. I don't have a date for it, so I don't know that it's off my limits. It might not be a 2023 release at all. I might be able to read it today. I'll check, but I think I might go through it anyway. Why not? It's only a few days left of the year. I may go through it anyway before I package it up and send it to a certain ancient mariner up in Vermont. Oh wow, how beautiful! Okay, well then it's kind of apropos in a weird way that this would come to me water soaked in the rain. Anyway, that is unexpected. That is Voyages of the Sun by Thor Heyerdahl. Then we have The No State Solution and a new translation of the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. So not a bad mail haul for a very, very rainy day here in Boston. Rain on and off all day, and then the temperature plummets. Then the temperature drops down, down, down. A lot of you are already encountering that. Even that precipitous temperature drop is going to be mild here in Boston. Tomorrow will be much colder than today, but not a different world, not a different planet in the solar system, which is what a lot of the rest of the country is experiencing. A lot of the rest of the country is going from low 40s Fahrenheit one afternoon to 40 degrees below zero that same evening. That's a gigantic drop in temperature. A drop in temperature that will cause problems on its own, regardless of how cold the end temperature is. That's not going to happen here. We're getting off easy with this whole storm system. I don't know that will always be true, but we're getting off easy. We're not getting any blizzard conditions, and our drop in temperature will be severe, but not anywhere near as severe. So we're keeping an eye on the weather. And I'm getting emails from all of you, all over the country, telling me all about the weather, telling me all about your life and times. And as I pointed out to one of you just yesterday, rather charmingly, you have a lot of people who email me. A lot more people email me than leave comments on my videos. And a lot of the people who have taken to emailing me regularly, because I'm on my computer all day long. And despite the fact that I'm a sexy influencer, I'm not any different a person when I'm off camera than when I'm on camera. I know you expect that on YouTube, but it's absolutely not true. I'm not any different a person, and keep in mind, I was raised by a species that doesn't really have a concept of privacy. So there's none of that either, which means quite a few of you, more people than leave comments on videos, have taken to just emailing me with this, that, and the other thing, whatever's on their mind. I'm very grateful that a lot of the people who email me, I'd say 99% of the people who email me, are aware of the fact that the reason I'm online all day long is because I'm working. So if you send me a dissertation that's 5,000 words long, I'm probably not going to respond to it. And if you send me a normal email, 2 paragraphs, I will, but I might not respond to it right away, and I might not respond at length. It's kind of a crapshoot. Uh, I'm very grateful that a lot of people who email me realize that. But it's kind of funny that something that's just come up organically. I never put it as a requirement. And, the people who are emailing me from, Caracas or Reykjavik are not colluding with each other, but it's become sort of a common thing now for people to include with an email a picture of the animals they love. It started out with their dogs, but then it moved to cats, and now it's everything in the world. People send me pictures of whatever animal has captured their heart. It's rather wonderful. But I've been hearing reports of this storm from all over, from people who are in the teeth of it, portable generators in the living room, that sort of thing, to people who are finding that it wasn't at all what it was billed to be, that it was just a fairly normal winter storm, nothing really to worry about. It's always a little colder in the wake of a storm. So fascinated to hear what your situation is, but that is the mail for today. I doubt very much that there'll be mail this weekend, right? I mean, Christmas is falling on a Sunday. I would assume that means that anybody who's union driven is going to have Saturday off, because they have Sunday off anyway. You don't want to be gypped out of a holiday. We shall see. I have no idea what will happen this weekend. This weekend and the early part of next week are the winding down of the year anyway. If there's mail, I will open it for you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.